and I'll survive. I will survive. I will
Everybody, and welcome to Whisper to Scream. My name is Bernard, and I am your host. Now, we broadcast over YouTube and Facebook. Search out Coon Tunes Productions, then click on Whisper to Scream for the current broadcast or peruse our archives. I have on my mask to help promote COVID-19 awareness. Cover your face when out in public and maintain social distancing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this pandemic is for real. Even our newest believer, the President of the United States, will tell you it is real. Now, we're going to feature one account of a personal entanglement with this killer virus. These warnings are real. Okay, we introduce you to Jacqueline Daughtry-Miller. She's a vibrant, progressive woman with a warm, engaging persona fully entrenched in family and altruism. And she has devoted her career securing more than $50 million annually. I'm going to repeat that. $50 million annually to support our colleges and universities. Now, she has served on several corporate and educational boards in the capacity of president to consultant. Presently, she works as a customer relations specialist at the United States Department of Education. Now, she works hard and she plays hard. In fact, she is a premier hand dancer in the DMV area. For those of you who don't know, DMV is colloquial for the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, which is where this particular style of dancing evolved. And I think she could compete on a worldwide platform. Now, let me say this. By most standards, she was healthy, and yet a little-known virus called COVID-19 was able to wrestle her down and toss her on her spine. One night, she was not feeling her usual vibrant self, and by morning, she began a fight for her life. One night devolved into months battling the coronavirus, followed by a slow uphill climb to normalcy. She's making that climb right now.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Daughtry-Miller. Some call me Jackson, most call me Jacqui. I'm a survivor of COVID-19.
That's okay.
I'm coming to tell you some of my story, what some of the symptoms were, how I progressed through it, how I was released, and then how I again was readmitted to the hospital with a bacteria called C. diff, C like candy, hyphen DIFF like different. It's a dreaded bacteria that I got back to back after 9 days of being at home, COVID free. I am still COVID free and I'm now C. diff free. But the road there to complete complete health is still not there, but I was released from the rehab. Let me tell you the story. I started out because I wasn't feeling good. I thought I had the flu, and so I went to Patient First, which is one of those emergency care centers. It's in Silver Spring, 10 minutes or less, 5 minutes from my house. When I got there, they said I had double pneumonia, and then later they came back with another diagnosis and it said I needed to go to the hospital right away. Of course, I told them I had way too many things. They could keep me for a night if they wished, because, I know they had to run more tests, but, I give them a date. That was about it. Well, anyway, I was in the ambulance going to Holy Cross Hospital. I was talking to my friend Violet, and Violet said, they said that you may have COVID. And she said, you just swept it under the rug like they never said anything. And that's because I knew that I did not have COVID-19. So we were on the way, we get to the hospital, and I couldn't, all I remembered is going through like 20 doors and an elevator to get to, I guess, which was the emergency room. Well, for 2.5 weeks, I had no recollection of anything. I had plenty of dreams. I was in the hospital for 7 weeks, 7 long weeks. And once I finally said I needed to have a little bit more. I need to have a little more therapy because I knew that I was starting to feel better. So I went to rehab. And when I got ready to finally be discharged, the press was there. Friends from many of my clubs, including high school clubs, were all there to welcome me. And I also knew that there would be another welcoming party when I got home, although I wasn't supposed to know about that one. And so they all were at my house and they were all welcomed me back. So when 9 days later I got sick again, I was embarrassed to tell people I was sick again. Not that I had anything to do with it, but I didn't, because I then had to C. diff. And so I was back in the hospital for 3 more weeks at Holy Cross Hospital, and then back into rehab for almost 4 weeks.
Now, Jacqui, can you tell us your experience about being on the ventilator?
During the time I was on the ventilator for the almost 3 weeks, I lost complete use of all my vital organs. They were just kaput. And so when you're there, they've got this tube that goes down your throat all the way down. It's keeping you alive. It's feeding you because you're not eating. You're not even moving. You're just laying there until you either don't go, either you die or you're saved. And during that time, it was a complete blank to me, other than some of the things I was dreaming. One is that I was giving lectures at the hospital, and the other was I had gone to a concert, and I was dancing the whole time. So those were my thoughts during that week. I didn't remember anything else. So I am, in fact, God chosen. And I know that I'm here to do obviously to do something else. God has more in store for me. But I'm also here to love more, to give more, and to be more understanding.
Now, I can only imagine the therapy you had to undergo. And so, what are your thoughts about the care given to you?
I got lots of therapy, and the therapists are now some of my heroes and sheroes, because I couldn't walk. And also when I was in the hospital the first time with the COVID, when I thought I'd gone to the club, it would have been impossible for me to go to the club because, in fact, I couldn't walk. I had to learn to walk again. Right now I'm using a walker, and hopefully another 6 months or I won't have the walker. And I use a wheelchair. But I'm very blessed to be able to be home. In fact, today I was discharged from the nursing home. And I must say that the people who are working at this COVID are 90%, at least my experience, is committed, helpful, good attitudes, because it's very hard. And I could not, just as others could not, have visitors. So you're in the hospital. So now I'm talking about, I've been in the hospital for 4.5, 5 months and no visitors. So the staff become your friends and your soulmates. And so they have to be committed and really, really good. Now once during this time, I had a bad experience with the doctor, and he was very negative. He said that I was faking it, and he also said that he wanted to take me off of the drug they were giving me because I would get addicted. And I told him that is not, that's not going to happen, and that shouldn't happen because it's not a trait in my family. We got a lot of other stuff though, but not that particular one. And he said, oh, that's what they all say. The next doctor that attended to me was a young sweetheart. She said, I know what'll make you feel better, because I was feeling pretty bad about then. She also asked the surgeon to go in to make sure that all the bacteria had been removed, and it had not. It was full of C. diff. So that's why I was having the unusual pain. And she said, I think I know what might help you. So they sneaked my husband in. He went up back doors and back stairs, put on the doctor gear and the lab coats on, And he was able to stay in my room for about 30 to 40 minutes. And that was like, I think it lifted me and helped me get through the next few weeks. I know it did.
So, Jacqui, what's the next chapter in your life?
And what I'm going to do next is, I work for the U.S. Department of Education, and they have been so supportive and working with me. I will be going back to work at my home office, as most employees are non-essential employees are working from home. So I will do that. It's a job that I enjoy, and it's a job that's fulfilling. It's student financial aid. And so I don't have any qualms about going back to work, and actually I'm looking forward to it.
Now, Jacqui, because you've had firsthand dealings with COVID-19, is wearing a mask really important?
In terms of mask, please, please, please wear your mask. It's so important. I've actually called out a couple of women who were in the rehab that didn't have them on. And I'm sure that I will do it as nicely as I can if I'm out and I find that someone doesn't have a mask on, because I know how imperative it is. And it's not about just me, it's about other people, it's about your grandchildren, it's about your children. Because if you don't have a mask and you're a carrier, you don't know you're a carrier, then you could do that and you could infect someone and not know it. So masks are so, so important. Also, I know God's not done with me, otherwise I would not be here, since only 12% of the people who go on the ventilators do not walk back out of the hospital. So I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful to God for bringing me, for my friends. I've got friends from grammar school, and some people I did not know. Praying, many people I do not know praying for me all over the country. I'm so, so blessed to have friends. I was so thankful when my friend Bernard, who called me, didn't know that I was back in the hospital, because I didn't want people to know. I was so embarrassed about, all the hoopla before, and then going back to the hospital 9 days later, that I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to tell him what was going on, and he called me, and he said, I'm coming down for some personal things, and I'd like to interview. I said, only for you, Bernard, will I talk about my experiences. So I'm here to thank you, Bernard, and thank you, God, and my friends. And I know one thing, if I know nothing else, I know prayer works.
As always, be blessed and stay woke.
And I thank God again. Prayer works. Prayer works.